If you want to retire early, these three myths will stop you. I retired after 12 years of investing, and I didn't start until I was 40. And these three myths would have stopped me if I didn't get around them. They actually are probably why I didn't start investing until I was 40. This is going to be a nice short video for those people who would never click on a 2-hour video. If you want your questions answered during a live stream every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, I do a live stream that lasts as long as the questions do. Except for this Tuesday, I'll be flying to Thailand. And so Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time and Matt the Lumberjack Landlord are going to be going live at 4 to answer your questions for me. Three myths that are keeping you broke that will stop you from retiring early, like I did. We all fall for these traps early on. Most of us believe these, and some people never stop. The first one is that you have to diversify. And we hear, if you want to be a rich person, listen to rich people. And what do rich people do? They diversify. Well, if you want to be rich, don't do what rich people do. Do what rich people did. They didn't diversify to get there. You're going to hear people say, and the diversification doesn't sound like some really fancy strategy. It's just people saying, have a retirement account. Max out your Roth before your 401k. Max out your HSA. Let the tax tail wag the dog. Let's lock up a bunch of money in retirement accounts that have a paywall to them so that you can't even access the funds until you're too old to enjoy it. And if you're planning on retiring early, retirement accounts are not a good thing. And that's just the first form of diversification. Then they're going to say things like Mr. O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, says no more than 20% in one asset class and no more than 5% in one asset. I retired 100% in one asset class. It stops you from retiring early to try to diversify because diversify protects wealth. It doesn't build it. Wealth comes from mastery, not spreading yourself thin. People mess this up all the time. When you try to learn stocks, crypto, real estate, small business, side hustle, syndication, commodities, AI tokens, and flipping Pokemon cards, you become 10% good at 10 things instead of 100% good at one thing. I became financially free and was able to retire early because I focused on one asset class, not all of them, not most of them, not a couple, one. Yeah, I diversified in that asset class. If you pick stocks, a diversified index portfolio is diversified. If you pick real estate, I make sure my properties aren't all close together. They're at least 10 miles apart, close to several different economic drivers, like a base, a port, a college, a hospital, Boeing or Amazon, or big population. I make sure I have 3 different types of tenants. I have Section 8 tenants, military tenants, working or retired tenants. So you can diversify in one asset class if you master it. If you were investing in stocks and crypto and real estate and a business, you wouldn't have enough real estate to know that you can diversify in it. Focus builds wealth. Diversify later to protect it. I totally get it. Myth number 2. I'm going to wait for a crash. And this, your algorithm is probably feeding you this because if you watched a couple of crash videos, it thinks that's what you like, so it feeds you a bunch of others, all saying the same thing for decades. It feels logical, why buy high when you can buy low? And every year the internet says the biggest crash ever is right around the corner. Fear sells. Timing the market doesn't. This is why it stops you from retiring early. In stocks, dollar cost averaging beats market timing decade after decade. Right? The highest performing stock portfolios belonged to people who died. The second highest performing stock portfolios belonged to people who forgot they had them. And the third highest was managed by a cat named Orlando. Don't time the market, have time in the market. People waiting for the real estate crash since 2012 when the double dip crash was coming, and 2015 and 2018 and 2020 and 2023 are still freaking waiting. And that's not even the bad part. There's a lie. That they're waiting is a lie. Because when the crash happens, lenders disappear, sellers freeze, fear takes over. Don't catch a falling knife. It'll be a double dip crash. These become the mantras of the people who were already not buying. In downturns, people are scared. Even investors who wanted to buy suddenly can't get lending. Opportunists become observers. Every crash looks obvious in hindsight. None look obvious when you're standing right in the freaking middle of it. You don't know what's happening. Consistency beats timing. Action beats fear. Even if we knew a crash was coming, I did a 40% crash over 4 years and showed that owning a rental that you purchased today before the crash made you more money than waiting to buy during the crash. And we've never had a 40% market wide crash. We had a 30 something percent from 2008 to 2011. It took 4 years. The largest crash in a 12-month period was 8.9%. But every crash guru out there is saying, oh, the 20% crash is 2 months away. Not frustrated. Moving on. Myth number three, I'll invest when I make more money. It feels true. People genuinely believe I just need a little more money. The problem isn't income, it's habits. It's like people say, you should join the military. Military will make you better. Bull. As a Marine, I can tell you the military doesn't make you better. We had soup sandwiches and fucking rock stars. Sorry about the language. But the military amplifies who you are, and money amplifies your habits. I will invest when I make more. When you make more, you already have priorities you don't even have prioritized. Do you like budgeting for food? Do you like driving the old beater car? Do you enjoy taking no vacations or worse, taking a vacation by traveling home where you used to live and living on grandma's couch for a week and calling it a trip? You've already spent more money before you got it. This is why it stops you from retiring early. When you earn more without changing habits, your lifestyle expands. Bigger car, better phone, better food, more subscriptions, nicer vacations. Your expenses grow faster than your income. You don't learn better money habits by making more money. You learn better money habits by practicing them while you're broke, tired, and annoyed. I hope everybody's having a day full of amazing. If you can't manage $1,000, you're not going to manage $10,000. Habits build wealth. Income only amplifies what you're already doing. If you want to retire early, you're going to have to break out of these three myths. You're going to have to find people who've already done what you want to do and find out how they did it. And they didn't do it by doing what rich people do. They did it by doing what rich people did. I will be doing live streams from Thailand. I will figure out what the schedule is like there and what the internet is like on a beach in Khao Phanong. Enjoy your weekend, and let's make it to where every day is Saturday so that you can get to where I am, where every night is Friday night.